Am I the asshole for giving the silent treatment after my girlfriend's son spilled in my car? This posted by user Irregular Scrotum. No shit, that's the name. I got a new car earlier this year, and it's the first big item I've bought for myself. It's my baby, and I take good care of it. This weekend, I had to drive to town B for work. To get to town B, I have to drive through town A, which is where my girlfriend's mother is. So my girlfriend asked if I can give her, my girlfriend, and her son a ride there to visit her mother. We left yesterday, and before leaving, I reminded both her and her son of my number one rule. No food in car. She said whatever, agreed, and we went off. On the way, her son complains about being hungry, so we stop at a gas station and the two of them go off to quickly grab and eat something. After about 20 minutes, they come back to the car both holding slushies. I stop them and tell them that they can't drink that in my car, and she says they can't possibly finish it fast enough without making us more late, and that she wasn't even willing to do that. This resulted in a back and forth of arguing, and the ultimatum was to leave them there or to suck it up. I gave in and let them in, cautioning them to be careful. After about 30 minutes, her son drifted off and dropped the melted slushie all over the back seat. I yelled and pulled over to clean it up. After cleaning it up, I got back in the driver's seat and just drove. I was bloody livid, but knew fighting or arguing over this wouldn't solve anything. Still, I was in no mood to talk, so I just remained silent for the rest of the ride, only giving short answers when spoken to. I dropped them off at her mother's and kept driving. When I reached my lodging, I saw a message from my girlfriend calling me dickhead for giving them the silent treatment and making her son feel like shit over an honest mistake. Am I the asshole? This is like the third Kobayashi Maru I've seen this week. There's no winning here. There is no winning here at all. And it's only because your girlfriend knew your rules and didn't care about the rules. I understand where you're coming from. There was a point in my life whenever I had time to give more of a shit about keeping everything nice and tidy in my vehicles that I was anal about it as well and had a no food rule. And when that rule was in place, it was worth it. And the kids just knew that they weren't going to eat in the car. By this point, they were also big enough to where they weren't like in toddler mode needing snacks. And with a toddler, like everything's getting destroyed anyway, so forget about it. I don't yet know how old girlfriend's son is, which brings up an important point. We don't know how old the girlfriend's son is. He could be a toddler. And if that's the case, number one probably shouldn't have had a slushie by himself in the backseat anyway. But I'm guessing that he was older than that, because otherwise they would have had to install a car seat in this vehicle anyway. So let's say he's, I don't know, when do kids stop riding in car seats now? I should know this. I've got a gaggle of them. When do kids stop riding in car seats? The internet says 12. 12-year-old spills a slushie in the back seat, they probably should care. They probably should feel remorse about it. However, the mom is at fault here because she knew the rules and she advocated for the f***ery of the rules, and then bad shit happened because the rules were bent. Broken. In that moment where she pushed against those rules, she showed a lack of respect for something that you really care about. Being anal about your car being clean when you have kids is just a really hard thing to do. So one side of this coin is, look, if you're going to be dating a girl with kids, you just need to get used to your car getting destroyed. That's an inevitability, depending on the ages, but still, just accept it. If kids are involved, that vehicle ain't gonna stay clean. And this side of the coin is, she showed zero respect for your boundaries. The severity of that offense depends on how strongly you feel about those boundaries. If it's a deal breaker, imagine you will never be able to enforce rules about your vehicle again now. Are you okay with that? If not, it's something you need to bring up and probably need to have that battle to determine if this relationship is going to continue or not. If you're willing to have a messy car for the rest of your life because you love this woman that much and her kid that much, then just accept it and learn to let it not affect your happiness, as difficult as that may be. Let us refer to the ASCON scale. I'm going to say that OP is ASCON 4 here. I'm not going to say that what he did was wrong. The way that he did it could have been softer. And I'm only thinking about the kid's sake here, because I don't know how old this kid is. But regardless, could have approached it differently and probably not yelled and then pulled over. That could have been approached softer, and ASCON 4 as a reminder is you probably could have approached that differently. Maybe you're an asshole, maybe you're not. It's like you're a half asshole. You're either just an ass or a hole. I don't know which part of the word you are, but you're like half an asshole. That's what ASCON 4 is. Not quite all the way there. Your girlfriend, however, let's see where she lands here. Ponder on this we must. Her disregard for your boundaries is an ASCON 1 move. In the context of this single event, she was an ASCON 1. Those are alarm bells. That's just this situation. That doesn't speak to how she is in your relationship as a whole. So that could be a completely different story. Regardless, you've got a battle on your hands here, and I think it all comes down to how strongly you feel about your boundaries. Not just the cleanliness of your car, but your boundaries, period.